Good days to panels. Before I start my presentation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Chee Yon from Department of Software Engineering. My supervisor is Professor Madhya Dr. Raja. And my presentation title is the Blood Bank application for Hospital Sultanah Aminah. For the following presentation, I will break it into 4 parts, which is introduction, literature review, system development methodology, and requirement analysis and design. And now I'm going to introduce to my project. So for this project, the stakeholder involved is the Department of Blood Transfusion in Hospital Sultanah Aminah. It is the largest government hospital in Johor Bahru. And this department is in charge of collecting and providing blood products to the patient who need in the hospital. And now we proceed to the problem backgrounds. We can see that there's a lot of the blood shortage problem happen and appears in the news lines. And this is the major problem faced by this department. So they sometimes they only can request the blood donation through news or press conference, which is low efficient. Besides, sometimes the blood donation, the attendance is not desirable because the attendance is very low, so which cause them unable to collect enough of blood to supply for the hospital. Now we talk about the project aim. The aim for this project is to develop a multi-platform application that can provide a platform for the staff to solve the critical blood shortage problem. There are 3 project objectives in this project, and the first one is to engineer the requirement from Department of Blood Transfusion staff and regular blood donors related to the problem of critical shortage of blood product in blood bank happen in Malaysia. And the next one is to design and develop a user-friendly system in order to solve the problems of critical shortage of blood product in blood bank. The last one is to perform the acceptance testing on blood bank application by using the suitable testing techniques. Now we discuss about the project scope. HSABloodBank, which is the name of the system, is intended designed for the Department of Blood Transfusion in Hospital Sultanah Aminah. And then the system will be developed as web application, which is mainly used by the administrator and the staff, whereas the mobile application will be used by the blood donor user. However, the HSABloodBank will not perform any real-time location tracking on the blood donor user. And now we talk about the project importance. The main purpose of the project is to provide a platform for the staff to increase the blood product storage. And one of the main features for the project is for the system is the staff able to search available blood donor nearby and request blood donation if needed. Besides, the blood donor can register an account through the mobile apps to get updated news and events. The staff also able to advertise and promote the blood donation event and share important news through the system so that it can spread to the blood donor who has the account. So after finish our introduction, we proceed to the literature review. So currently, the department, the main operation involved is the daily walk-in blood donation at the department located in hospital. So every public blood donor can just go to the department to make blood donation. Besides, they also have a Facebook page which named as Jadwal Campaign Derma Darah Johor Bahru, which is used to share the blood donation event and news. Now this is the sample of the screenshot of the Facebook page which is sharing a event. And this is the sharing the information about the current blood storage status. So they are from the screenshot you can see that they are lacking of the O negative, B negative, and A negative blood. After having an interview with the stakeholder, we can know that there is several issues faced by the stakeholder. The first one is the information shared on the Facebook page is unavailable to reach all audience. Besides, the Facebook user may get the information that is not relevant to them. For example, the Facebook user maybe stay in Skudai, and then the the event location they post maybe is at the Pasir Gudang, so the trip is very far, so it's impossible for the Facebook user stay in the Skudai to attend to the event in Pasir Gudang, so it's quite not relevant to them. Lastly, the staff are unable to contact the blood donor to request blood donation if critical shortage of blood product is happen. Because all the blood donation, because the staff didn't record any personal information like the contact number, email, or address of the blood donor user, so they cannot contact them if the critical shortage of blood product is happen. Uh, During the interview, the stakeholder also gives some suggestion for the development of the system. So the first one is the first suggestion is to develop a cross-platform application which involves staff and blood donor to maintain the engagement between staff and blood donor. Besides, the staff should be able to post event and information post to the application to spread the information to the blood donor user. The blood donor also should have an account which provide the profile information like the contact number, email, and address, so that it's more easier for the staff to contact them to request a blood donation. The staff also should able to select the blood donor user according to their blood type and also the location stay, to send notification about the blood donation campaign event which is nearby them. The staff also should able to update the blood donation history about the user to ensure the system can determine the availability of the blood donor to do blood donation. For example, the blood donor just donate the blood today, and then the cool-off period is about 60 days. So at this period, the system will show that this blood donor is not available to make blood donation right now, and it will available after the 60 days, which is after the cool-off period. And then the next suggestion is the blood donor should able to get the basic facts and information about the blood donation, such as precaution of blood donation through the mobile application. The last one is the staff should able to search the blood donor nearby according to the blood type, and then they can request a blood donation when the critical shortage of certain blood type is happen. And now we proceed to the literature review on technology use. So currently they only use the social media such as Facebook page. They use the social media to promote the event and share the news information. So far they didn't have any system to record the blood donor personal information. Now we finish the literature review, and now we come to the system development methodology. The system development methodology that chosen is the iterative development model. This model is breaking down the software development into 3 iterations, and then the project is designed, developed, and tested in repeated cycle, which is three cycles. And now we are going to introduce about the technology used during the system development. The first one is the Spark System Enterprise Architecture. This is the software that can use to model the architecture model of the system, and also can use to create the UML diagram such as the sequence diagram and activity diagram. Besides, we also use the Visual Studio Code. It is a source code editor which is used to coding for both mobile application and web application. For web application, it can support the HTML, JavaScript, and CSS language, and it also able to support the Dart language, which is in the Flutter framework. The last technology used is the Flutter framework. This is a framework that developed by Google, which is used to develop the mobile application. And now is the last part of the project, which is the requirement analysis and design. And now we talk about the functional requirement. You can see that there's a use case diagram, and then in this system there are 3 actors, which is administrator, staff, and blood donor user. And then there is 11 of use case available involved in this system. And now we briefly explain about the use case involved in the system. The login use case is can use to provide the authorized access to the system, and then the reset password use case allow the user to reset the password. And then the register as blood donor use case allow the new blood donor user that don't have the account to register an account to access the system. And then there's for CIUD use case, which is manage staff, manage event, manage news, manage blood donation. These are the use case that involve the CIUD operation. And then the event invitation use case is the special feature in this system which allow the staff to inform the user to join the event via SMS or email. And then the request blood donor use case, it allowed the staff to request blood donation via the SMS or email. And each use case in the in this project is supported by several diagrams such as sequence diagram, activity diagram, and also the use case description. And all of the details can be can refer to the SRS document. There are 5 non-functional requirements in this project, which is availability, portability, maintainability, and usability and security. And now we discuss about the system design of the system. So for this system, the MVC architecture model is selected. It able to provide multiple view for a model. The controller can generate the different view for mobile and web application. One of the benefit of using the MVC architecture is support the faster development process, because the controller and model only develop once. You don't have to develop a separate controller and model for each type of application, like the web application and mobile application. For the database design, the database we choose is the MySQL, and then it consists of several entities, which is user account, administrator, staff, blood donor, blood donation history, event, and news. Each entity consists a primary key, unique ID, which used to uniquely identify data. For example, you can see that the news entity in the table beside, the news ID is the primary key. So we can use the primary key to identify the data. And then some of the entity contain a foreign key, which enable the entity link with another entity. For example, the staff ID in this entity is a foreign key to the staff entity of the staff ID. And now we talk about the interface design. So since this project is a multi-platform application, which is a web application and mobile application, so some of the use case, some of the interface, they will have different type of the design. Such as for this, you can see that the image show is a managed profile interface. However, because the web application and the mobile application the design is different. So for the web application, it can only be accessed by the administrator and staff. However, the mobile application can be accessed by the blood donor account. The last part of the requirement analysis and design is the test case design. So each use case is provided with a collection of a test case. So this test case is very important in the testing phase, because it can help the developer to detect the error and defect to improve the quality of system. So during the testing phase, the tester need to test the system by using the test case provided, and then to determine whether the application is ready to be deployed. That's all of my presentation. At here, I would like to make a conclusion. The first project objective, which is engineer requirement, is already achieved in this PSM1, and the rest of the project objective will be continued in PSM2. PSM2 is more focused on implementation and testing phase, which involve the coding of the software. Thank you, panelists, for listening to my presentation.